Hi, and welcome back to the FreeFormKnits YouTube channel. I'm Haxann Evers, Knit and Crochet, whose freeform ways of crafting I've loved both to design. All the places you can find me were listed right down below this video. This is my YouTube channel where I post twice a week, every Tuesday and Friday, and talk about my knitting, crochet, my designs, yarn hauls, reviews, all sorts of random things. So if you like the kind of content, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and yeah. Today's podcast episode is number 51, and I have quite a lot of new whips to talk about, and two finished objects, one of which is here, one of which is not here, but we're going to get into all that right now. So a little disclaimer, it is May 11th at the time of filming this. It is spring is in full force where I live in the state of Pennsylvania, and my allergies are killing me, so if my eyes look red, if I'm stuffy, I apologize, but yeah, allergy season is a lot of fun. So the first finished object was last time I was working on this summer tee for my mom for Mother's Day. Mother's Day is past. I finished the tee in time. I ended up not doing any sort of border on the bottom. I wanted to do something lacy, but just my gauge and the lace pattern that I was picking, it was not working at all. I ended up like ripping it back 2 or 3 times. I thought about trying a textured option and then decided that I didn't have time. It was really close. I think it was like the day before that I got it done, or maybe 2 days before. I don't remember, but I was cutting it close. I didn't have time to fool around with it, so I just ended up finishing it. It's just a plain vanilla tee. I didn't end up taking a picture because I'm just so organized. So I don't have that to show, but it is done. And my second finished object is this thing that is stuck to my cord. Is just this simple corner to corner like car seat baby blanket. I just had this bulky yarn in my stash and wanted to use it up. I didn't even bother weaving in the ends, but it was too pretty to just lay around, and I wanted the room in my stash because I kind of really want to go yarn shopping. Wonder I don't want to go yarn shopping. This yarn was Yarn Bees, like I said it in the last episode. I can't remember. I don't have the ball bands anymore. But it's in the colorways Bella and just this plain, I think Angel was this color. And just this nice bulky yarn. I did it on a mystery hook. I don't know the hook size, the proper hook size. It says it's okay, it's not. And just using up those bulky skeins and end up with something really pretty. So that was just a fun, quick project. Really nice. And that's all of the finished objects. But I've made a lot of progress in my whips. I have a lot of whips. Last time I did not have too many whips because I wasn't really working on them. But I have, as you can see, a lot of whips. So we will start with a little sock parade because I have 3 sock whips, which once upon a time would have been crazy to me. I at one time only had 1 sock whip. That was the only thing I allowed myself. And then I ended up with 2 sock whips, 1 textured, 1 vanilla, and now I have 3 sock whips, 1 textured, 1 vanilla, 1 DK. Let's get into it. So this first one, actually, I just finished the first sock in this pair, and I showed this whip last time. This is just a plain vanilla sock. This is my DK weight sock recipe, my Delightful Knit socks. DK weight sock with this beautiful colorway. I just love the self-striping of this yarn. This is Yarn Bee Sweet Delight Prince in the Jumping Juniper color. I have not yet cast on the second one. Oop, needles on the floor. It's just a blend between acrylic and polyamide. It makes great socks. I love my DK weight socks. It works up so fast. And I'm just obsessed with this colorway. I think it's so pretty. Like, I don't know, there's just something about the stripe of blue and cream that just makes it so nice. And my shortcut heel in stockinette. And I did substitute my hat trick toe. I don't believe my hat trick toe was included in my Delightful Knit sock collection. The Delightful Knit sock pattern. Ooh. My Delightful Knit sock pattern is a DK weight pattern with 5 sizes with 3 texture options: vanilla, garter rib, and garter ridge. Yes, I remember. I ended up just doing the vanilla. I also think I include different rib options too, but I just did the 2x2 rib. So nice, simple. I love having a DK weight sock. I love wearing DK weight socks. I love just knitting on them. They work up super fast. And I did not bother weaving my ends yet. I will do that once I make the second. So that is sock whip number 1. Second sock whip is another vanilla sock, and it's out of scrappy yarns because that's a lot of fun. So I kind of went through all my finger weight scraps. I've talked about this before. I kind of hoard my finger weight scraps because that's what I do. And I kind of went through them and I planned out, I think, like 6 pairs of scrappy socks. So this pair is looking like this so far. I have like these, I had like 1 repeat left of Felici. This is in like their rainbow color. Another, I don't remember the colorways, it was so long ago, different colorways of Felici yarn. And then this blue is a discontinued yarn, and then this is a Yarn Beam mini. So I kind of ended up with this. I'm almost done with the toe. This is ridiculous. We were watching a movie and I couldn't focus on the toe, so I switched to something else. But I just have to close the toe, and then the first sock of this pair will be done. They won't match completely. They'll have the same cuff and toe and this blue bridge, but the self stripings will be different because I only have like 1 repeat left of each. Well, I have a little bit more of this Felici scrap, but like this is only 1 repeat. I usually, when I buy Felici, I usually only get 1 skein, so just 150 gram skein, and I can get a full pair of shorty socks with a coordinating mini, but I always end up with a little bit left over, like exactly 1 repeat, especially since like I get them to match, so I have to wind some off in order to make them match. So that's why I have a bunch of little Felici mini skeins. So these will be the colors of the next sock. I don't remember the repeats. Like, I think this is like autumn cabin something, so those be like, yeah, there's like brown and yellow within this skein. It's really pretty. And then this one I'm pretty sure is just these shades of green. I don't think there's like any sort of color surprise hiding in this one. I think it's just these greens, which is totally fine. So I have quite a bit left. I will definitely be able to make another sock, not another pair, but not a full length sock, just kind of like a half. I figure I'll probably gift these. They'll probably go to my little sister, so they're a little bit smaller than they would be for me. But it's got my shortcut heel and stockinette, just a cuff down sock. Really fun to use up these minis and get a full pair of socks. Like, fingering weight yarn goes such a long way. So that is sock whip number 2. I definitely want to finish that today and cast on the second one because it's very satisfying, like getting a full pair of socks done. I don't know. So that's sock whip number 2. And then the third sock whip I also kind of want to get done today because then I'll have 1 sock done of each of these 3 socks. And it is a new design. It is a shorty sock, and if I can untangle it, I really only started it and worked on it a little bit, but it's already almost done. So it is this shorty sock. It is done out of Knit Pick Stroll Tonal. I have the tag in the Manatee Tonal colorway. Super pretty blue and like purplish blue, just kind of like almost periwinkle. I don't know, but I really love it. And this is the stitch pattern I'm doing. So I tried this stitch pattern out a little bit ago on a headband and decided to put it on a shorty sock, but I really love it and I want to work on it more. I want to finish this 1 sock, and it's gonna be really fun. I really want to make more shorty finger weight socks to have in my sock drawer for the summer. I'm kind of obsessed with it, I'll be honest. I haven't worked on it in a few days because I was doing other things. I'll show you my main work in progress that I've put so much work into that I'm honestly really surprised about how much work I put into it. But this is super pretty. Yeah, it'll be really fun. So that's my 3rd sock whip, and I do all my finger weight socks on a US 2.75 millimeter. That's my sock needle of choice. I use my Chagu red lace 40-inch cord. And then this project bag I've actually had forever, but it had I made this years ago, this knitted outside, and then this was when I was just getting into sewing, and so the lining is so bad. It's so baggy in here. The lining and bag do not match up at all. But this checker lining And then I didn't use this bag forever because the only ribbon I had at the time of making this, which was years ago, was like this elasticy ribbon, and so I recently just ripped that out and put in a regular ribbon, like this drawstring with this measuring tape on it, and I fiddled with that. So now I have another sock project bag, which I really like, so I can have 3 sock whips on the go, which you need 3 socks on the go. You gotta cover all your bases. So that is all my sock whips, and now we get into the last 2 whips, which are both sweaters. So the first one is a design. I'm trying to finally design a circular yoke sweater, come up with one. I've freeformed quite a few sweaters in my life. I know how to like get my numbers for a raglan style sweater in knitting, but I've never quite mastered how to do it with a circular yoke. So I'm trying to do that, and this is the project so far. And also what I want to do for this is I want like a textured circular yoke. I like not just color work, I want some texture. So that is what I'm trying. The thing, I'm worried about this project because I got my numbers, like I did the math, and according to the math I can get the numbers I want, like with the neckline I want and the sleeve circumference I want, with only 2 increase rounds, which sounds suspicious to me because typically circular yokes will have 3 to 4, maybe even 5 increase rounds depending on what you're doing. But with my numbers I only need 2, which is suspicious to me. So this might not work, this might be frogged, I might have to go back to the drawing board, but for now it's going okay. I did a ribbing. I even did it in a smaller needle, which I never do. I never do ribbing in a smaller needle, but I did, and then I switched needles, and I'm doing this nice big basket weave stitch. So the yarn is super pretty. It is Yarn Bee Must Be Merino in the teal color. It's this blend of merino wool and acrylic and nylon, right? Nylon? Yeah. Super soft DK yarn. I'm using size 8 needles. I'm using my mosaic needles, and my size 8s are in the Caspian wood. I love the Caspian needles. I love the mosaic set. Like, it just feels so good to work with. So I have to work on this. The thing about my increase rounds, see, I need to decide if I want to do them evenly spaced, or if I want to do I did 1 increase round at the beginning, so theoretically I could do all my patterning, do 1 more increase round, and then separate and see if that works, if that gives me the shape I want for my circular yoke. Or should I did 1 increase round, should I do half my yoke length increase round, half my yoke length, and then separate? That's my dilemma. I have to decide that. I think I should probably do the half and half first, because I think that's more likely to work, and then if it doesn't, I can just rip back and do the other one. The other one I feel like, see, the increase rounds give it its shape, but I need the stitch count, so it's all very confusing. I have to decide. The numbers should work, whether or not the fit will work is the answer, is the question that I need an answer to. Yeah, that makes sense. Super pretty yarn, super pretty needles. Haven't been working on it recently because it's gotten a little bit hotter here as of late. So working with wool sweater has not exactly been the most appealing thing, but it's in this pretty bag that I made years ago. My first attempt at a box bottom, if you couldn't tell. And that's all for my knitting whips. And now we have 1 more crochet whip, which I put so much work into. I'm so surprised about how much work I put into it. Did not think, I honestly thought maybe I wouldn't even finish this project. Like, it was just a whole thing, but I love it. I'm loving the process. It is my Overcast Cardi by The Graceful Tangle. So I talked about last time how I had made some modifications. I'm not doing it in panels, I'm doing it all at once, and now I then separating for the sleeves, you know how you have to do it because it's a bottom-up sweater. And I did that, and I finished the body. Now, I did not check my gauge because why would I? Do I want a sweater that fits? Yes, but do I want to check gauge? Apparently not. So, and because I also did this, like I had, you can see, I made like a natural seam with just straight stitches so that when it came time to separate for the sleeves, I wouldn't have to guess. And so that kind of cut into my finished bust circumference, so it fits. Here's the cardi. So I finished the entire body. My plan is to do the border, like there's a single crochet border all the way around it before starting the sleeves, because I might be running out of yarn, who knows. And it's a little bit, it fits me, but I definitely should have gone up a size, especially since, actually I might have gotten gauge, I don't know. I think it was just that I didn't do the right numbers for doing my little seam on the sides. Like you can see it fits, especially when I add a border, it'll definitely fit. But it is a little bit tight across my shoulders. My neck is a little bit tight because of, like, I don't have enough up here. So I definitely should have gone up a size, but it was still very fun to crochet. Worst case scenario goes to one of my sisters, so it doesn't really matter. It's super fun to crochet, especially as just one big panel. Like I find that much better. I don't have to seam the sides. I don't know how the sleeves are done. I did do like a single crochet edging around the sleeves just naturally when I did the back and forth, so I could just go down and then do the back panel without having to constantly cut my yarn. So my sleeves, like I could easily just pick up and do the patterning back and forth this way. Maybe even just do a seam under the arm if I want to do it flat, instead of deal with like turning the sweater back and forth in my lap. So I don't know what she calls for in the pattern. I think she called it to do the sleeves in pieces and seam them on. So I'm not sure what I'll do. I have to think about how the seams would lay and everything, all that stuff. So, but first I'll do the border, just so that that part's done and I see how much yarn I have. Maybe I have to wait and get more. But it's a super fun cardigan. It kind of goes just past my hips, which I really like. So, yep. Good length, everything. That is everything for works in progress of this episode. But I did want to talk about the pre-order for my cable stitch sock collection is still ongoing. This, at the time you're seeing this actually, will be the last day to pre-order the collection for only $10. The cable car socks was released this Friday, and with every pattern release, the price of the collection does go up. So this is your release last week. Next Friday will be the release of the last pattern, the tramline sock, and the pre-order period will end and the collection will just go to full price. So if you want to knit some cables, learn some new cable repeats, and make some beautiful socks, this is your chance. There will be a link to my Ravelry Shop down below where you can view the collection and pre-order the patterns, all three for a discount. So that will be in the description box below. I've talked so much about this collection. I love it so much, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you who has already pre-ordered. It's been so amazing, and I hope you enjoy your patterns. So that concludes this podcast episode. If you could take a moment and comment down below something you were working on, I would love to hear about it. I love hearing about other people's work in progress, and I will see you in the next video. So if you enjoyed, please leave a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Happy crafting!